What's good, what's tea, and welcome back to the final episode of our first season of Not Another Talanoa. We have reached 7 episodes, I think it is, producer BB, 7 episodes, and we've changed the setup once again. We've had a different setup every single episode, and I think we'll actually insert like how every episode has looked, and I think we've gotten better for our finale. We are at the lovely Sofia Tequila Smith's house. And it's such a wonderful background.
It's a museum.
It's giving night at the museum.
It's giving stolen artifacts.
And that voice you hear, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, is Joe Fa'angase, who joins me now. Hey, Joe.
What's up?
Welcome. Thank you for joining me this week.
I'm so excited. I didn't realize it's the last wrap-up.
Yes, it is the season finale. And we thought, who better? Like, we actually had you on the works for quite a long time. So I'm happy that you could commit, because this person right here has like 1,000 jobs in New Zealand, and he's been here for like 5 seconds. I can't keep up.
Neither can I. Do you know what? I'm so grateful to be here, like, at this point of my life. Tamaki Makoto is crazy. See, I learned that. Like, it's been an experience. Like, I don't even know how to wrap it up. Like, do you know what? I'm still not ready to go home yet, and I've been here for 2 months.
Jeez, 2 months flies by quick, doesn't it?
Especially when you're having too much fun.
Yeah. How's your week been? What you been up to?
No, actually, it's...
You went to Rotorua?
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked him to come on the podcast, and he said he had a black eye. I can't see
So
no
it's
black.
like, no, it's healing.
Oh, okay, I was on that side.
Yeah, that's why I strategically sat here. So I lost control of the luge going down. So I went down with a few of the creatives from here. So yeah, it was a nice little break down in Rotorua. See ya. Do you know what? I think that one of the biggest things that I've learned while I've been here is pronouncing the places and names correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just came here so ignorant, to be honest. I was just like, yeah, we're going down to Rotorua.
Do you guys give a crap about that in Oz? Like, place pronunciation? Like, do you guys even acknowledge the...
Do you know what? If I'm being honest, like, me personally, I'm just speaking for me.
Yeah.
I never knew, I never knew like it was like a thing. So, but see, I'm the first to call it out. Like when people say things incorrectly, like Samoan words, Samoan names. But I just like grew up, and you know when you just grow up hearing like this is the word. Like over time you start. Oh yeah, it's called the Wollongabba. I don't know if that's like the correct pronunciation. Right. To be honest, of these names, but I know it's not English words.
Yeah.
But that's just what I've grown up calling them.
Yeah. And then coming here, and then it's like so everywhere.
Like, it's in the grocery stores.
Yeah.
It's at McDonald's. Like it's everywhere. I think that's so cool to see.
I don't even know it's at McDonald's. You kind of take these things for granted.
To, order here, like I was like, oh, it says, what's it? Or something. I don't know. Yeah, but I was like, oh my gosh. But I think coming from Australia, like coming here to Auckland, it's like fresh eyes. You see things are so different. The islanders here are so different to islanders back home. Yeah. Which was another strange thing. Yeah. Yeah, just certain things that happen here in Auckland, I have never seen in Australia.
For those of us watching, how would you describe yourself? What do you do for a living? What's your claim to fame?
Okay. So I guess for most people, they'd know me from the Harley and Jojo YouTube channel.
How many subs have you?
I'm not sure. To be honest, it's like our neglected child that we've just left there. Like I'm sure Oranga Tamariki's gonna come and collect it real soon. To be honest, like that all happened by accident.
I do want to talk about that, and we will talk about it later on. But first, let's talk about your upbringing. So, were you born here?
So I was born here, but I left when I was only a few weeks old. So Australia's pretty much been my whole life. Yeah. My whole upbringing has pretty much been Australia. So like even when people ask me back home, I just like, yeah, I was born in Australia because I don't know too much here. Like I know the area that I was born, Henderson, and then that's pretty much the extension of what I know.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3 brothers, and I'm number 4, so there's only boys.
Oh, okay. So you're the eldest?
No, I'm the second.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the second guy, but I get treated like the baby.
And so what was your childhood like in Oz? Brisbane through and through?
Yeah, so we grew up in a little city called Logan. And I guess for me, we grew up in a strong, strict Christian home. My mother was the enforcer of the Bible. So yeah, that was pretty much our livelihoods growing up. And our second religion in our home was rugby. So that was my whole entire life. I guess because we had no sisters.
Yeah.
And my parents saw that I had like what's the word?
Like traits.
Yes, I had like feminine traits. They assigned me like all the like girl roles. So like still to this day, I've never done like mowed the lawn, taken out the rubbish.
Yeah, you're doing the cooking.
Yeah, those are my brother's duties. And so I think with being here away from all of that, it's like you had to fend for yourself, figure it out on your own.
Were you always this confident?
No, do you know what? Actually, I wasn't. Like, I think I grew up really shy and like, because me and my brothers, we all went to a Palangi school. Right. And you know, to be honest, like my thinking growing up was, don't be too loud, otherwise they're gonna know you're gay. Like, so I would never let any like attention draw to me because I was still trying to figure it out. I was still trying to navigate through these emotions and everything. So I just stayed quiet. But I think when my mum passed away when I was 18, that's when I was like, do you know what? I don't want to be shy anymore. Like, if this is like the reality of life, I don't want to live like that. So then I just, ta-da!
Oh,
yeah,
I
so
guess
that's
you
where I'm
never
at
look
now.
back, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wow. And so 18, your mother passes away.
Mm-hmm.
How much did life change for you in that moment?
It changed so much. Pretty much, I feel like in a way, like it was always, I'm a big believer. I have like strange views. Like I'm a big believer. Everything happens for a reason. I believe everything's pre-written. Like there's certain things in your life that Talanoa requires you to do, and he just leads you on a path. And I believe like that time, because I used to like why so early? Like I need my mum, but I honestly believe that was meant to be her time. Like this was her duty. She was meant to birth us, and her role was in the next world, wherever it may be. But like I feel like my mum knew that in a way, and I feel like whatever happened, like she just trained me up. So when the time when she left, like I was equipped because oh my gosh, I became a mother to kids that I didn't even birth straight away. Yes, I never used to be as free and as crazy. I'd say like in my from 18 to about 24, like I was still like no. These kids, but then once they turned 18 and once they started to find themselves, my siblings started to find themselves, I was just like, oh my gosh, what about you, Joe? And so now I'm just like on this path of discovery. What's Auckland or New Zealand got to offer? Yeah.
You and your mum were close.
Yeah, super close.
What was your relationship like with her?
I was like my mum's shadow, to be honest. Wherever she went, I'd go. Like, so pretty much everything that I'm known for, like design, everything structured off of teachings of my mother. Like even when I take girls to pageants, that's another hat. Yeah, like I'm like, oh, how would my mum wear this? Or how would my mum do her hair? How would my mum do her makeup? And I'm just like, okay, this is what I need you to look like. This is the look, this is everything. So everything's just teachings of my mother passed on to other people. Or like my interpretation of that.
That's so powerful. So everywhere you've gone, she's with you.
100%. Like I feel like, to be honest, if I'm being really honest, I feel like 100%, like all the blessings in my life, every opportunity that I've gotten to this day is only because of my mum. Like I feel like me being on this side of the bar, like I feel like I have to work hard because I know whatever my mum's doing on the other side, she's working twice as hard. So that's how I feel like when I'm, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's why I'm like, come on, Joe, like when these days that I don't want to do certain things, I'm like, you know damn well your mother is working twice as hard for you to get these opportunities, because I honestly can't put it down. Like, I don't know how I stumbled upon certain opportunities. To be honest, that was not something I ever anticipated doing. Like, yeah, everything's just like, I always say it's an accident, but I know it's my mum. Like everything's just her leading the way, and I've just got to like try to pick up the signs in this wherever it is. So yeah, but I just feel like right now in this time of my life, I'm meant to be here in Auckland for whatever reason.
18. How old are you now?
19.
Oh God, it's going so fast.
No, I'm 28 now.
And so 10 years.
Yeah, so 10 years I've been like, so back home, like I'm a like fighter for my community. Things here are so well established in Auckland, like there's like
the Pacific scene.
Yeah, the Pacific scene is like so well organized. We're back home, we're still like grassroots level. So it's all trying to like kick out the oldies and like bring in the youth. Like, we've learned everything we needed to learn from you and we need you to guide us, but now it's our time. Like, so that's how the scene is back home in Australia. Like it's like all us emerging Pacifica people just trying to give back to where we've grown up, because our experience is so different to the experience of Pacifica youth here in Auckland.
I think because I've only ever known Auckland Pacific. I was born in Auckland, raised in Auckland, went to school in South Auckland. And because I live in South Auckland, it's predominantly Māori Pacifica. Went to a predominantly Māori Pacifica high school, all boys. Man, you learned the ropes real quick. But you kind of take things for granted, like just the pathways to like becoming.
Yeah.
Because growing up, what did you want to be?
Do you know what? I got asked this question in my final year of school, and in my mind's eye, it went away. Like I was like, okay, I can see myself like standing on an airplane, and I literally thought that I was going to be a flight attendant. And you know what? I became the star prop for the Manu Samoa. Thank you. So I thought I was going to be a flight attendant my whole life, but I had other plans, and here I am today, just going with it.
So were you were a flight attendant for a time?
For a time I was.
Would you go back?
Absolutely not.
You lost your wings?
You can't fit in the jump seat. Do you mind?
So the first time I caught a glimpse of you was this mukbang video. You did it with two of your mates. It was Harlem and Stephanie.
Yeah.
And it was like an island food mukbang. And I forget when that was. Was that 2019? 2018?
Yeah, I think it was 2019. End of 2019 is when we started when we filmed with her.
And by that time, the video had already gained traction, and I had a bunch of people in the comments saying, Joe and Harlem, like, what are these guys' names?
Yeah.
So tell me how things popped off after that.
Do you know what? So I'd say this. So for me and Harlem, obviously we come from there's 4 of them in their family and 4 boys as well. And they're all in the limelight. Like they all play rugby, and my older brother plays rugby. Well, all my brothers were playing rugby, but only one made it professionally. Yeah. So everybody knew who our siblings were, but this was something that was never planned, like me and Harlem's channel. And so we went and we filmed, and it just popped off. And then me and Harlem were like, oh, let's just do it, because it was fun. It was really fun when we first started. Yep. Now it's a chore. It is literally a chore to do it. So when we first started, it was like, let's just see where this takes us. And then we started our own channel, and then that was pretty much the birth of Harlita and Jojo. And Harlita and Jojo are like super alter egos of like who we actually are.
I always crack up watching these guys' videos. Like, I'm like, wow, like that's not really who you are? It's
a personified version, I'd say.
Yes, exaggerated versions of yourselves.
It's like to be honest, we don't, no, that's a lie. I was gonna be like, we don't fight as much. But
I was gonna say, for as much as you do in real life. Did Harlem move down to Sydney?
Yeah, so he moved down to Sydney, and he was there for a bit, and it made things hard, like how we were going to film and everything. Yeah. And so now with me being here, we still haven't been able to film since, I think the last time we filmed was in April, so it's just been like...
Well, Harlem was here recently. Did you guys vlog?
We vlogged, and we just still haven't gotten around to it. You know, the thing is, when you start your own channel, you have to do everything. You have to come up with the content, you have to be the videographer, everything, the editor. It's just like, sometimes it's like falls on the last thing to do.
And there's no funding around it, like you guys...
Nah, we drive it ourselves.
How has that experience been being kind of pushed into the limelight? Because I'd say that you guys were on the rise before TikTok really became a thing. And so everyone's kind of an influencer now. But you were kind of probably like the last crop of poly.
Pretty much. So I'd say with the poly tuber world, me and Harlem are like really brand new. And I think in the polytube community, before we came, I used to watch everybody.
Yeah.
I still do, and I still ask them like, where's everybody? But things have changed, the algorithms changed, and I guess for people like, they justify like doing it with numbers and that. Where if it's fun, it's fun. Like I've always done, if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm not having fun at the moment filming. Like it's a chore. It's such and I think because we had to do the sets. Like if you see our stuff, it's so lavish.
Professional.
So much goes into it, and it's just like, do I really want to be doing that today, or do I want to go and have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's honestly changed our lives. To be honest, I discovered so much about me personally and Harlem. Yeah. Like, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's almost like this like baby that we had to take care of.
And so unexpected too, because you didn't necessarily walk into this saying, oh, I want to be an influencer, I want sponsorship deals, I want this, that, and the third. You just...
Yeah, and I guess with our content, we always try to base it around Māori and Pacifica things. So it was always like island cuisine, Māori cuisine, or like we'd infuse it some way, somehow.
One thing I do want to ask about is Harlem's 21st. Go and watch the vlog if you can. That seemed very extravagant, and you were the brains behind it.
Yeah.
How was it like planning such an affair? Shutting down the street?
It was so stressful. Like still now. So I think that we had it in July, like 2 years ago, and it was just after a big lockdown. So coordinating everything was through lockdown, bringing up the, I'm just gonna say it, bringing up all the people from Sydney, like that was like the biggest risk because we had border control there.
Yeah.
But I find ways around everything, government, policies, laws.
Anthony Albanese, are you listening?
Yeah, but I was like, to be honest, I was just like, Harlem told me, he was like, oh, you know what, I've never had a birthday. And I was like, you know what, if I was to have a 21st all over again, this is how I'd do it.
Ooh. And boy, did it look like a 21st.
It was crazy. Like, after that birthday, I think I slept for like a whole week.
Sheesh.
Because there was so many people to coordinate. It was all the performers, it was the styling team.
Yeah.
It was everybody in between.
It was a full-on parade.
Yeah.
MMC take
notes. Do you know what I've learned? Nobody does parades like Otahu.
Oh, no. Yeah.
That's a riot. I actually went down one night. I was in awe.
Oh my gosh, you did. And it was raining and people were still out.
Rolling around on the crossing. Yeah. We were in the line to get into the actual street for about 2 hours before we even made it into the street, the main strip of Otahu.
I saw people doing like forward rolls in the intersection. Someone nearly got run over because someone tried to tackle someone else. It just looked like a whole thing. But
was that Charlie?
It wasn't even Charlie from him.
But I enjoyed it. It's like, I don't know, a lot of things here, like I'm experiencing for the first time. Yeah. Like that, the game, the atmosphere. I've gone to a lot of rugby games, but nothing like that.
Yes.
Like, nothing like that.
So would you term yourself as an influencer?
No. Do you know what? I think it's so cringe.
Yeah, because it is.
Like if I have to put my label on it, I always tell people I'm just a content creator that doesn't make content. Because I mock those people. Like when I do skits, the times I do skits, I mock influencers because sometimes I feel like they're so self-absorbed and they have nothing to give. But for me, I hate the label because I feel like it discredits all my work that I've done prior to coming on the internet.
What did you put on your visa form when you flew into New Zealand?
A student. Student of the streets.
So, being a content creator with no content is one hat that you wear, but another hat that you wear is as a stylist for pageantry. Tell me about how you got into that and the places you've gone, the people you've met, etc.
So I got into that, it was all by, no, I wouldn't say it's by accident. So to be honest, like when my mum passed away, we needed money. Okay. Like I was like, there are these 4 kids, like, and everything.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay. So I just started like hustling. Like I was like, you want cakes? I got you. You want kuingas? Like I got you. So that's just how it all started. But like my grandma, my mum, like all my aunties, they used to do like iakongas and everything. Oh, okay. And so I just take everything that they taught me and like sewing, and then I just started making it. But everything with the styling world, like I'd always merge it with what I like. So I'd like merge it with like bustiers, like which is really controversial, because considering our people are so conservative.
A very big Selena fan you are.
I love Selena so much. And did you know she's actually from Savai'i? Thank you.
The amount of Instagram videos I see of this one on a table or something, singing like Kamola Floor, Piri Piri Pam Pam, etc.
So I just like to merge everything that I love into our culture when it comes to like contemporary pieces.
And so, like, share with us some of your highlights from that.
I think, I don't really do well with when people tell me no. And there was a pageant, I was like, who was it? Miss Samoa Melbourne. So I flew down, and Miss Samoa Victoria, and they told me that I wasn't allowed to light the guinga on fire.
Was this the candle one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it had gasoline and everything inside of it. So everyone thinks it was candles, but it was like little torches with gasoline inside.
Oh, a spark?
Yeah.
Sparklers?
So do you know those bamboo torches? It was those.
No way.
Yeah, so I put those in the lava and they told me I wasn't allowed to light it. I was like, yeah, promise I will not. I will abide by your rules. I was like, there's no way I didn't come this far, like all the way from Brisbane. Because this is how crazy I am. So say today is the pageant.
Yeah.
The day before, 2 days before I flew here to Auckland, everything was from Otahu. That whole outfit is from here in New Zealand.
Okay.
So I flew here
Yeah.
in the morning, got here in the morning, I left at night time, like I wasn't here the whole day, flew back home. I didn't sleep, like I slept on the plane, flew back home, sewed that outfit, then flew down to Melbourne and it was showtime.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, there's no
torches.
way. I was like, we are lighting this on fire. And so it was a last minute split decision. I just lit it on fire. It burnt the roof. Oh! If you look closely, it burnt the roof.
Wow. You did look like very stressed in the background.
It was, because I was like pacing. Like I was like, Joe, are you crazy? And I didn't know. Like,
Girl, this can't go wrong.
It was like 1.5 meters. It was huge.
What was the reaction to it?
I just remember, to be honest, I remember looking back at it after everybody was like in awe as soon as I lit it on fire. But then in there, I was like, get off the stage, just get off the stage, read the script and get off the stage. And I was already on the floor with a bucket of water waiting to put her out.
Wow. Did you receive any criticism? Because you know our community. Girl.
No, do you know what? It was actually, well, there probably was, but from what I read, it was like welcomed, like it was new, because the theme was recyclable, and I was like, do you know what? Like, I don't want to use trash bags, and I knew I loved music, I knew I loved Selena, so I used CDs. Like, I was like, they weren't recyclable. I actually had to go and find them because I don't even know who buys CDs these days.
Yeah. Joe, you've been around the world, it seems. Do you have any funny stories of your intrepid time away?
I think one of the funniest stories that I still tell to this day is a trip we went for my birthday. We were in Japan.
Yes.
And I was wearing my brother's rugby coat, and I think the Japanese people, they just like put one and one together, and they thought I was a rugby player, and so people were like waving, and I was so confused. Like, why are they waving at me? And people were like smiling, had their phones out, and I was like, oh my gosh, they think I'm a rugby player.
And so did you have to like deepen your voice, or what was the situation?
No, do you know what? I was like, there's like a communication barrier, like
they won't understand.
I was trying to figure out, like, this man just had a jersey and his son, and they're like just palming the kid off to me, and I was like, oh my gosh. So you know what? I started taking photos. I was signing jerseys. And the whole time we're speaking in Samoan, like just laughing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like, has that happened like just in Japan or anywhere else?
There's no way anywhere else they'd like pick up straight away. I'm a diva.
Yeah. But they see one tall brown person, they're like, ooh.
Yeah,
get me so much.
Japan's such a weird space, hey. Do you know? So when we were in Japan, there was this, what's it called? I think it's the Bula Bar or the Fiji Bar. We were literally walking down the street in Osaka, and out of nowhere, I kid you not, we heard like Pacific Soul like coming out of like a basement. And I was like, what do I hear? I was like, I cannot be that like intoxicated. Like, I hear island music. And we went down and it's like, you know, when you're away from like home and from the norm, even if you see one islander, it's like, that's your cousin, that's your brother, like straight away. And I think that's what traveling will always do. Oh, what it'll always do for me, whenever I see like I'm so excited to see them. And when I come here, it's like they're everywhere. It's like every single person. And especially for me growing up in like Australia, it's not common. Like, yeah, there's islanders there, but not to the like capacity that they have here. It is crazy. Like when they say this is the biggest Polynesian city in the world, it really is.
It really is. Like when I go outside Auckland, like, and I don't see brown people, it's like my fight or flight. Like it's like, wow, triggering.
I remember I came just before the borders shut the first time, and I did a school visit at Macaulay.
Yes.
I got a shock, a literal shock from like the faculty staff down to like the students. It was all brown.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why it's a shock to me. Like, I'm brown, they're brown, like, hello. But I was literally like, I cannot believe this. And you know what? I really believe that the students here, they don't understand how lucky they are. Because when you go to the school where nobody looks like you, nobody understands you, it's so tough. Like, do you know, this is what's so funny. They're like, so my whole life has been in Australia. We're just like, okay, whatever, we're from here. Are you from New Zealand? I'm like, no. And they're like, so you're Māori? And I'm like, no. And then you tell them like you're Samoan, and they're like, where's Samoa? And you're like, oh my gosh, like in the Pacific. Like that's how white my education was.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't even know where Samoa was. Even teachers.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
and
they're
Oz.
Like, in Australia, that's not far from like the Pacific at all. Like it's neighbors.
Oh, bro. And so you come to New Zealand. I meet Joe on like, was that your first day here?
Yes, my first day.
Oh my gosh, the beginning of the end, I tell you. Because I had seen, he knocked on the door for Know Your Roots because we were shooting the promos. And so I opened the door and it's Joe because we had talked so long online.
Yeah.
On Twitter. I was trying not to say Twitter because it's such a toxic platform. Are you on Twitter?
No.
And so 2 months.
I got a shock, like a big shock when I seen you. So I was like, oh my gosh. And you know what? It was almost like comforting because I didn't know anybody in that space.
No.
Like, and it was so, do you know my first day on set?
Yeah.
I was so scared. Like, I'm telling you, like, I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. So I just sat in the room, in the corner of the makeup room. And I just sat there because I was like, just wait for your time, Joe, and then go. Like,
was it that culture shock thing?
I think it was just like new environment, doing something I've never done before in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Like you saw how nervous I was. I couldn't even perform properly. Like, yeah, it was just like not knowing anybody, new environment, new country, doing something. Just a bunch of things that made me like, shut down.
Had you done TV before Know Your Roots?
Never.
Do they have something like that in Oz? Like a fresh TV or like?
I think we have NITV,
okay,
which is like an indigenous channel.
Yeah.
But nothing Pacifica or like, to my knowledge.
Okay. And so 2 months into your trip in New Zealand, and you still haven't left. Why?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Hey, to be honest, like I love everything about New Zealand. And you know what's so sad? A lot of people in Australia have this negative stereotype or negative thought about New Zealand. Like they're like, there's nothing there. Like,
right.
Which makes me so sad. You know, to be honest, even my family, like they're like, Joe, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. But everybody's like so against me being here for so long. But I just feel like there's opportunities here for me that I would never be offered back in Australia. And I guess that's why I'm still here. Yeah, it's just so sad, the thoughts about, I guess a lot of people go to Australia for new opportunities.
So many people.
People believe it's the new land of the milk and honey, but...
Oh, I better not be giving dawn raids. I'll tell you what, Anthony Albanese in the Labour Party, I'm looking out for you. And yeah, just a lot of people move to Oz
Australia.
in general, like islanders.
I understand wholeheartedly. Like when I see things...
They say Perth is like the Māori capital of Oz.
Like, oh, do you know what? I'd give you another city that's running for that is the Gold Coast.
Yeah, the GC. They made a TV series about that in New Zealand.
Like everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
All right, and so what's next? Are you staying in New Zealand? Give us
Do you know
exclusive
what?
scoop.
Like, I'm just like following wherever Tangaloa leads me at this point.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like I would like to give like the entertainment industry a good crack here.
Okay.
Like I really enjoy it. Hey, like.
Are you talking like acting?
Yeah, like, and you know, to be honest, it was never an option till like I came to New Zealand. Like I originally came to film the show and that was it.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna go home. But yeah, like just so many doors are opening, and
You were guest hosting on UFM the other day.
Yeah, and you know, that was so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
so much fun. I got a complaint, but that was so much fun.
You actually got a complaint. Oh my god! I I think they had like made it like until you got that complaint, they had gotten no complaints, and that was their
and
goal.
I was just like, oh, yeah. And so like understanding like people here are more conservative, like that. So just dial it back.
And so, anything else other than shoulders? Like, can we expect more Harlito and Jojo?
Well, we are like we're figuring out how, because we're meant to be going on holiday real soon, and it's meant to be like added to the vlogs.
To where?
Hawaii. But I'm just like, Jay, you're still in Auckland.
How long are you gonna spend in Hawaii? Because you've teased it to your fans.
Yeah, so I'm literally like, at this point, I'm going for 2 days.
Holy moly!
Because I have the other commitments here in Auckland that are like tying me down at this point. So I'm just like, oh my gosh.
And I think you've got like a lot of followers in Hawaii, is that right?
Yeah, so the bulk of our audience comes from Auckland and the 808 in Hawaii, which is so strange.
Where does your love for Hawaii come from? Is it because you're Mormon?
Probably. That's not public information.
Because I just see a lot of Hawaiian influence, like you love the Hawaiian culture.
I love Hawaiian men.
And on that note, thank you so much, Joe, for coming on the Not Another Talanoa podcast.
Thank you for letting everybody know my religion.
I think you could tell from like the suits, etc. That is our season finale. Thank you to all our guests who've joined me on various sets. Latavia, Chris, Alyssa, Sammy, Paige, many shows. Hopefully we'll be back for another season, but we're just gonna kick back a producer BB. I think we're just gonna do other things, and we hope to see you soon. But thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe. Bye.